You're right. It's all platforms. E3 Spectacular. I've got Andy and Sachin actually with me. Everyone else is Skyping in, so apologies in advance. So I guess we start with a roundup of what everyone's been playing.
I got The Last of Us on Friday, and I don't think I'm ever going to sleep ever again, because the clickers are the most fucking terrifying thing in the whole world. But
you can get around them, though, right?
You can get around them sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably going to do a review this week. It's probably the best game I've ever played in my entire life.
Wow.
Not to oversell it too much.
This is basically bullying.
And I was also one of the ones lucky enough to get into Phase 3 of Final Fantasy XIV's closed beta. But I haven't played a huge amount of it. But it's okay.
What? I mean, you said it was great.
I said it looked great.
Oh.
Big difference.
The PS3 version doesn't look very optimised at the moment. Like, the graphics are still a little bit...
That's fair enough. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the PC one will be more optimised.
Well, I've seen like PC footage and it looks a lot nicer. But it's all right, but I don't see myself paying a subscription to play it.
How much is it a month?
I don't know yet. Probably 11 was like 8 a month, I think.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Is that pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my stumbling block now. I basically won't pay a subscription fee for an MMO at this point.
It's a fun game, and the way they've done it with the controller works really well, but I just can't see myself spending 40 quid for the game and then an extra subscription fee on top of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem worth it, really.
So, I mean, if that came out for the PlayStation 4, does that mean they would have to pay like a subscription on top of as well?
Yeah, well, you don't need Plus to play online. The PS4 one.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. Probably.
That'd be a bit weird.
That would suck.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what have you been playing?
Well, it was my birthday on Friday, so my brother got me Kerbal Space Program, and that's basically been my life up to this point now. It's basically the best thing I've ever played, because all I do is just rocket into the stratosphere and then explode. And then, but the worst bit is where you can actually see the Kerbal's faces, and they're so naive and happy, and I'm like, you're about to die. Like if you knew I was piloting, you'd realise you're fucked. Like,
good old Jebediah Kerman.
Yeah.
Have you got out of
smiling
orbit
to the end?
I managed to get out of orbit, right? And I jetted off into space and then spent 4 hours just floating around in space, and I couldn't do anything because I was out of fuel, so I was just there.
How many Kerbals have you left just floating in space?
I think I've got about 8 that I just left. I left 2 spiralling off into the sun. So I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll run out of oxygen before they get there, but... Yeah, I do.
That's reassuring.
It's been that and Counter-Strike, which is just my go-to. But I've been getting back into Counter-Strike, which has been pretty good, and setting the bots to easy so that I can get achievements.
Oh dear.
Heather, what have you been playing?
Well, I've actually been seeing my boyfriend I haven't seen for a while, so I've been playing things like Band Hero and Mario Parties on the GameCube and stuff. So I've just been playing loads of party games and social games and getting the most out of the Wii before it dies.
Heather, the only person to get hyped about the new Rocksmith.
But it will never die in my family, My grandma still loves bowling, so I'm sorted.
Well, they do, don't they, old people? They love it.
They really do.
Bowling.
All of them.
Anything to do with balls.
Oh, Sachin, apparently you've been playing Max Payne 3.
Oh yeah, I finished the Max Payne 3.
Oh, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about that.
Oh yeah, but I mean after Max Payne 3, because I already said I was playing it through last week. Anyway, but yeah, I finished it. I really liked it. The story's pretty good. I don't know, it's just a really good game, and I think that if you're looking for a single player experience...
It's a highly consistent game.
Yeah, there's no real problems with the game. I think it's a very solid game in that if you're looking into it and you look interested in Max Payne, you should definitely just pick it up. It's worth the money. I mean, I got it on sale, so I'm sure it goes on sale fairly regularly. I'm sure the Max Payne franchise or whatever. So no, it was really good, but I don't actually remember what I've been playing after that. So
okay, good. Eventful week. Yeah, fair enough. Em?
I've been playing Harvest Moon: Tale of Two Towns. So, yeah.
Okay.
I've done a year on Harvest Moon now, and I'm actually getting a bit bored of it.
Oh.
But Promise of Alpacas in August, in fall, even in autumn, it's far too much for me to ignore. So
it's basically all of your dreams coming true at once.
Yeah, until I get the new Animal Crossing, which is soon. So
Can you get llamas in that Harvest Moon?
no, you can get alpacas, and they're my favourite animals.
Alpacas are like shit llamas.
Yeah,
basically.
whatever.
Yeah, llamas
Yeah.
are cool.
Christian?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 finally, and
Okay, I'm not jealous.
it's been kind of fun.
Really?
Really?
I mean, I can.
yeah,
It is fun. The gameplay is fun, but the storyline, I don't know. Go on,
I
Chris.
like the story so far. I do admit that the first segment of the game, if people who've played it understand how it's kind of segmented,
Yeah,
the first part is definitely better than anything I've done so far until I got on the boat.
it's a slow burn, Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get going, and personally, I don't think any of the characters are really that interesting on it.
Apparently, Connor's really annoying.
He doesn't really seem to have anything going for him. He hasn't really got any decent motives.
I was a massive Lost fan, so I'm so engrossed in finding out what happens with Desmond that I will follow Assassin's Creed to the end.
Prepare yourself for a lot of disappointment.
If it has a terrible ending, there will be a uprising.
Yeah, but then
don't wanna
the
spoil
gamers are
it
going to
for
get
you,
screwed
but-
over. They don't care as long as you're buying it. I mean, what can they do? They're gonna. Oh, I mean, they could do what? What's it? They did with Mass Effect, and maybe
Christ,
just
yeah.
make a new
That's
ending.
the one thing I worry about.
Well, and Ubisoft came out the other day and confirmed they're developing 3 Assassin's Creed games at the moment, which doesn't instill me with that much hope.
Yeah, like I heard the guy said that he could carry on making like 20 Assassin's Creed games, and I was just like, don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
It's just like it's already milk.
Yeah,
they've
it's
already
been
milked
murdered. Yeah.
this franchise.
Since it became an annual installment, really,
It's not that kind of game, is it?
It doesn't feel like they're changing much in each game.
I don't
It
think
just
they
feels
are.
like the same. I mean, I know they're still using the same engine. It's just the same game.
Actually, it's a different engine.
Is it a different engine now?
From Assassin's Creed 3 onwards, they're now using Anvil Next, which is a much more revised version of Anvil.
Oh, okay.
So-
And as we saw at E3, it
That's how
runs
they managed to do
perfectly.
the snow effects. The whole weather system comes from that new engine.
So they're only
They just
using.
changed how it manages it.
So only Assassin's Creed Black Flag is on the new engine.
And
That
3.
and 3, yeah.
Oh, 3
Oh,
included.
okay.
Sorry, I thought you said after 3.
Because
my bad.
3 is one of the most buggy games I've ever played, so that
Yeah.
doesn't give me that much
It
hope.
runs amazingly well on PC.
Yeah,
For now.
I was playing it on 360, so it might have been that.
I actually remember what I was playing. Yeah, I've been playing Battlefield 3 for Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really fun. That game is always fun. I love that game so much.
Campaign I wasn't bothered about.
No,
The
campaign.
online
No one
is
plays
awesome.
Battlefield for campaign.
Yeah,
the
I love
campaign's
the
useless.
online on Battlefield.
And I've been also playing Assassin's Creed Revelations because I'm trying to catch up. But every time I play it, I just start to lose hope. It's so bad. The graphics are just awful. The gameplay is just awful. Like I realize how bad it is when you play other games that take into account like sound for one. On Assassin's Creed Revelations, if you like jump from a great height and land next to an enemy, if he's not looking at
Yeah,
you,
he doesn't
it
hear
doesn't
you.
count as sound.
Yeah,
like
but that's because you're like a sneaky assassin.
no, it's so stupid.
Come on.
Retarded.
But did you not learn this
So
at
bad.
Assassin's School?
And like, I was
Assassin Academy.
it's so dumb. I actually just hate the game now. So, and
Well, you're really selling it.
Yeah.
So we had 2 different people playing Assassin's Creed. Quite mixed feedback on it.
I'm sure 3 is much better than Revelations.
It's not.
I mean, I liked Revelations, so...
I feel bad because Assassin's Creed 2 is like... I adore it. I love Assassin's Creed
I
2.
like the first one. The first one was my favourite.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
it
love
was the
the
reason
first
why
one
I
as
got
well.
my Xbox 360,
Yeah,
actually.
the first one was the first game I played on PS3,
Yeah.
or on my one at least, and it was like it felt really next gen. Like, it felt like a really big step up. That
Yeah,
game.
it was
like
pretty
you
cool.
knew you couldn't have had that,
That
on
was the
PS2.
big thing about Assassin's Creed. When they introduced it, it was just to sell next gen to everyone. And it kind of did a good job at that.
So
Yeah.
I mean, unless that's how we're going to look back at like Watch Dogs
Hopefully,
Yeah.
and just be
What-
like,
what-
it looked
It's
really
exactly
next gen
the
at the
same.
time.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Watch Dogs will be alright. I've also been playing.
Just hopefully no sequels.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully they won't churn out.
I'm sure there
every
will
year.
be though.
I've also been playing Minecraft.
Right,
Yeah, I
okay,
don't
I'm
like
glad.
Minecraft. I think it's stupid.
Right, we'll cut this.
But no, I have been playing Minecraft. My friend said to me, Sachin, I know you get bored playing Minecraft, but let's just like make an objective. I was like, what do you want to do? And he's like,
Yeah.
all right, let's get all the achievements. So I was like, okay, that's a fair objective. And
Yeah,
it gives
so
you,
you're
gives you
actually
something
working
to do.
towards something, yeah.
And I've actually been having like quite a lot of fun with it. It's got to the point where I'm almost bored. and
Yeah,
then we just, we started like dying a whole lot just because we just don't care anymore. But it is fun. I think Minecraft's like the most fun you get out of it is at the very beginning when you have nothing, and when you have
I think
like
that's
as soon as you get like iron, then you're just like, oh, I'll beat the game.
All right. Well, fair enough.
I mean, we haven't got to the ending.
that creativity.
Right, well, before we get off on too many tangents, we should probably get into what will be the bulk of this week's show.
Yeah, this
Something
thing
happened.
happened. Something
Something
in
happened this
America.
I guess people want us to talk about it.
Yeah, Jesus.
Thanks, guys.
So there was E3 and basically Sony won, and then everyone went home.
Thanks for listening to all platforms.
That was
We'll,
it. Yeah.
Right, so we'll move straight into the Microsoft conference then, as that was first. So, what surprised us?
I was really pleasantly surprised, actually, that they did come out with games. I mean, it was, I was kind of expecting them to come out and be like, so guys, we know how much you love sports and TV, so
And we know
that's
how
what we're doing. And then they'd be like,
we know how you're all American.
Yes. We know how everyone who's going to buy an Xbox lives in North America.
I think what surprised me was it's called Project Spark. That looks really cool. You can like create your own game.
Oh, was that their Little Big Planet ripoff?
Yes.
I quite liked how that looked.
It
I
looked
don't
pretty
think
cool.
it's not enough to sell.
It's
the
not
Xbox
enough to
One
sell
to
me, but I think that was like cool and quite innovative.
Yeah.
It was the way they did it, like Spark Mountains.
Yeah.
Give me life.
I used to play Kodu Game Lab, and that is what this grew out of. And I like the progression of this idea with adding the Kinect voice chat, so you can just talk to your console and
Yeah.
get it to do different things. It's a nice way to kind of invoke that God feeling that you got from playing Black and White.
I did
And
love...
mix that into game design.
I liked Black and White.
Yeah, Black and White was hype. I think we always get back to this. Black and White was awesome.
The other thing I was really surprised about was Fantasia Music Evolved. I was not expecting that, and it's one of the few things on the Xbox that I'm actually interested in, despite the fact that I hate the Kinect.
What genre is this game?
It's a rhythm action game, sort of. It's kind of
Oh, okay.
a more chilled out, exploratory music thing.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's being made by Harmonix, so
Oh, okay.
they know what they're doing when it comes to anything involving music.
Yeah.
And from the 20-minute demo that was shown to press, it seemed very well made and well rounded.
I think another thing I was surprised about is that there's a new Xbox 360.
Yeah, I totally didn't expect that.
Why is there a new Xbox 360?
budget model.
There's like, how
Yeah.
many models of the Xbox 360
I get
now?
what they're doing it, but it's kind of dumb as well because the new 360's clearly been designed to look more like the One. So now
Yeah.
you're going to have mainstream consumers who don't understand that the new Xbox is the Xbox One, and now the 360 looks the same.
Do you think they're just preying on mums going into shops going, oh, I'd like a new Xbox for my
Yeah,
son?
it's almost as if Microsoft don't mind which of the two consoles people are buying.
But there's just so many versions of the 360 now. Because you've got the arcade, you've got the premium, you've got the elite,
Yeah.
you've got the slim, and now you've got this new model, and I'm probably missing
The Grand Theft
some.
Auto 5 Special Edition, guys. And also, maybe they're doing the new Xbox, because if you saw that YouTube clip of what happens to the people who are in ships under the water and can't get an internet
Nuclear
connection,
subs.
they have
Yeah,
a 360.
Yeah.
So
we
maybe
have a console for people who don't have an online connection. It's called an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don Matrick,
And maybe
yeah.
that's what the new console will, what they want for, you know. Don't have an internet connection? Get one of these.
I honestly,
So-
as many cool reviews or reveals even as there were, like for me when they came out and were like, so we've got a new Killer Instinct and it's exclusive. I was like, okay, that came out of nowhere, but that's awesome. But I'm never going to own an Xbox One because of everything that came out about the DRM and about the Kinect. And
Same.
That seems
it's-
like such a harsh reason not to get one. I have a friend who's been like Sony orientated for so long now, but because of that really awesome game, that Rise, Sons
Oh,
of
yeah.
Rome.
Oh, quick time event, the game, yeah.
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 But that game has completely stole my friend because he loves Rome, and the fact you're controlling platoons as well as in the action fighting yourself.
Well,
You know.
Well, Rise was a Kinect game that's now been translated into a normal game, so it doesn't look incredibly interactive. At least from what I saw of it. The graphics look impressive,
Yeah, they do.
and people are trying to compare it to God of War, but it really didn't grab me.
Look, I think I have like my housemate. He said as well. It's more about the scale of how many players can go on a map, or the Xbox One and their Titanfall and things like that, and the fact they can get so many players. It's going to be the games that sell the Xbox One.
The new
Titanfall isn't an
Regardless
exclusive,
of the
is it?
DRM.
No,
Titanfall's not an exclusive. Titanfall's all
But
platform.
where she was talking about the wow.
Every time.
She was talking about like the amount of players you can get. So is the next gen going to have like minimum 64 people?
Yeah.
I think we'll see bigger servers.
Yeah,
sure.
no, that looks like a big thing of the next gen is the consoles can keep track of a lot more.
Yeah.
people.
I think that
We
if
saw
they
a lot of open big games.
yeah, I think if they rebrought, like, I know it sounds stupid, but Battlefield 3, like, obviously Battlefield 4 is coming out, but if Battlefield 4 wasn't coming out until, I don't know, another year, and they brought Battlefield 3 to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and there was 64v64, I think people would buy it. I know it sounds a bit silly.
Yeah.
I think people would buy that game again.
So if they
because
brought
can
the
have
PC
more people.
version to the
or
next
the
gen.
PC version,
Yeah.
but I mean, because the PC version can already support
Yeah,
stuff. But if
exactly.
you didn't have a PC, then maybe at cheaper price, maybe, you know,
Yeah,
something
I
like
mean-
that. I think that would sell.
Microsoft's show went as well as it could have, apart from no audio on the Dragon game demo, and apart from a couple.
There
freezes.
were technical issues throughout
Yeah,
the
but
whole of
that's
E3.
kind of-
Yeah, but
every
you can't hold
conference.
technical
Yeah.
issues against
No.
them as, you know, as a company. It's
Yeah,
like,
but-
you didn't have sound for this. This means your console is bad. Like, we can't
But
say
they
that.
did come across as very
Unprofessional.
very Microsoft, very American, because they came out and said, "Oh, so we've got Forza 5 coming, and here's a car on the stage. Sure, why not?" And that was basically them just being like, "We have a lot of money.
They
I
had,
mean, there's
they
nothing
had
to
Drake
do
on
with
the
gaming."
stage. They had that professional
Yeah, it's like,
basketball player.
what is going on with this? Like, or at least speaking for myself, I could not care less about that stuff. And then, you know, you compare it to Sony's conference, and they're just, you know, they're actually being professionals, and it's people who are working with the console coming up to talk about games. That's what I care about.
It's the whole thing with the Xbox restrictions. GameStop in America are actually handing out flyers.
Yeah, I don't think it's all the
Yeah.
GameStops though. I read that article that Chris
Couple
linked.
of them.
Oh, okay. I'm
I've
not
heard
surprised.
that stores in America are trying to dissuade people from getting the Xbox One.
I think that's a valid point though, because like lots of people, like my mum, would go, new console, I'll get that for my son.
Yeah. No, I honestly, like, I was talking to one of my friends after the conference who, she's a diehard Xbot, but not really into the industry. And when I was trying to explain to her, so your new console will literally stop working if you disconnect for 24 hours, she was kind of like, well, you know, what's a big deal? I'm always on live anyway. And I'm like, that's not the point. Like, you're totally missing this.
Holiday, or you know, like.
Well, it's just Microsoft not trusting you. It's Microsoft treating the consumer like shit.
That's the general sort of feedback I've been seeing sort of online, is that the main reason people are saying they're not going to buy the Xbox One isn't because of the DRM. It's not because of the use game restrictions and stuff like that. It's because of the way Microsoft are responding to the
clearly
consumer.
how they think of gamers.
They're being very anti-consumer when it comes to.
And I really like
advertising
the
Xbox
customer
One.
response in that way. How it's not just about personal inconvenience, it's actually taking a stand against business practices that people don't want to see happen or become commonplace.
I definitely thought one of the biggest things from Microsoft's show was the Twitch integration, because we've known that Sony want streaming services to, like, that is going to be a big feature of the PS4, but we
They've
didn't
got
know who
Ustream.
they were alliance with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch are obviously the dominant guys in that field, which is a
Yeah.
big deal now.
It's a big deal, but also a lot of people who already use Twitch are going, well, does that mean we're going to have loads of kids, like, trying to stream stuff?
Yeah,
And be,
loads of console gamers.
Yeah, those casual scum.
Yeah. Well, and
I mean, I'm sure
Look
it'll
forward
be
to a lot
great
more
for
gaming
Twitch.
channels.
Yeah, and having the chat alongside your screen, that's literally the only good use I can think of for the snap screen thing.
Yeah, because a lot of streamers like to see the chat.
Yeah,
when
like
they
that,
stream,
that
so
I can
always
see being
looking
helpful.
to decide.
But that's literally the only thing I can think where I'm like, yeah, I want that alongside while I'm gaming.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think a good thing that Microsoft has done is get rid of Microsoft points,
Yeah.
because that's just them being greedy. Like, why why is something 800 Microsoft points, but you can only buy it in like 500 or 1,000? Like, why is it not?
It's definitely
It's so
one of
silly.
the biggest hindrances.
I know, and
It's way overdue.
yeah, and now they're finally going to like local currency. So I don't know
I've,
if I should be. I don't know if I should be happy about that, or because it's so
Be
late.
happy
I'm
about
happy
it because
about
it's a good thing, but it's something that we've needed for years.
Yeah.
They should have never used.
I mean,
the
in
point system.
on the PlayStation Store, correct me if I'm not mistaken, if something is $4.99, all you do is pay $4.99.
Yeah, you
don't
don't
pay
pay
anything
You
more.
pay
pay
the
cash.
exact amount,
Right,
yeah,
which is so much better. You know.
well, and it's same with Steam, and there's no like minimum balance on Steam. If something's on sale for 60p, that's what you pay for it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's all you have to put. You don't have to top up your Steam wallet or anything dumb like that. You can just straight buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving swiftly on to Sony's conference then. This was the one that I reckon probably got a lot more buzz going around it.
This was it. This was the end game. This was like, I've always been a Sony guy, but this conference just basically reinstated why I love them. And it was gaming, and we give a shit about you.
So probably the biggest reveal at this conference was we finally got to see the console. And I don't know about you guys, but personally, I think it looks gorgeous.
I
think it
saw
looks
it and
fine.
I said it's basically the Xbox One but on a slant.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care what the consoles look like as long as they're not too big and as long as they're not like, as long as someone hasn't made it like something that it shouldn't be. Like, it's a box. I want it to be a box. I expect it to be a box. I don't want it to be like a triangle. Like, it wouldn't make sense to
Well,
change
and that's the
whole
thing as well, is that the PS4 is apparently around the size of the PS3 Slim, whereas the Xbox One, I don't know if you guys have seen it to scale, it's massive.
I thought it was actually small. So I thought,
it's huge.
Oh,
Xbox One.
I thought apparently like the camera just made it look big, but that I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. But yeah,
I don't know, just
the Xbox One does look big.
Yeah, everything about the PS4's hardware just screams precision and looks like it's been put together well, and Sony have learned from their mistakes. Like, I always thought the original PS3 was gorgeous, but I think the PS4 looks like it's battle hardened and actually ready to go into the next generation, whereas the Xbox One looks like a relic.
Apparently, the main issue though with the whole PS4 design outlet is there's not enough USB ports at the front.
Yeah, but how many ports are there?
There's two, I think.
And how many at the back?
I
I
don't think
saw
it
that
showed us,
3D
did it?
model of the PlayStation 4, and I looked at the back. I don't know. I know there's two at the front, definitely. I forgot if there's any at the back. I mean, if there's not, I'm sure if there's not one, then that's quite surprising. But I mean, how many people really need more than two USBs for their console? You're going to need maybe one for. Actually, I can't think of any because I know the Xbox 360 uses like you can plug in your wireless.
Two, I think.
You can plug in your wireless like signal thing into the back.
Yeah,
and
I was going to
guess
say
the front could be used for what?
I mean, two USBs is what's on the PS3 Slim as well, and that's always been enough for me. That's, you know, the PlayStation Eye and your charging cable.
Fair enough. It was just one of the complaints I read from a friend who was regarding both the console's design, was the fact that considering you can have 4 controls on those things, and also if you think about those what people thought the console was going to look like prior to this E3 press conference, obviously everybody thought it must have 1 million USB ports, and I think it might be more disappointment on that edge that they were thinking they're going to get more than 2 than the actual fact there is only 2, if that makes sense.
I think that's a bit of a non-complaint, but maybe that's just me.
But apparently it's big enough that people are complaining and hoping for a USB add-on.
I'm sure there will be. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to get a splitter for a USB
when
port.
I'm guessing you're going to be able to buy wired PlayStation 4 controllers, which
Well,
will
because
use USB.
that's what I'm assuming it is presumably the DualShock 4 uses the same system as the DualShock 3, in that it's a rechargeable battery built into the controller that you just... Yeah, I mean, that's the only time you're going to need your USB is to charge your controllers.
But yeah, other than the console then, what about the games, guys? What do we think of the exclusives?
I really liked the look of Gran Turismo 6, looking great as ever.
I think all car games just look good on any
they all look
console.
brilliant, really, don't they?
Yeah.
We're at the
Yeah.
point where they look photorealistic.
Is anyone going to like buy the racing games though? I'm tempted to buy one of them because I haven't played a racing game in so long. The last game I played was Burnout Paradise, and I
The
really
best racing game of all time.
I really want to play like another.
I really want to
racing
get The Crew. You know,
Yeah, that
Ubisoft's
looks
one,
so good. The Crew
because
looks
that
good.
seems like such a brilliant idea, because I can imagine, you know, the 6 of us, we all jump online on it and say, oh, you know, we're going to go race around Detroit, and then we're going to drive over to the Outback, and we're going to, you know, you can just do what you want and explore this massive world and just
it's
take
like,
down other people.
It's like seamless multiplayer,
Yeah.
which is sort of similar across some other games that we're probably going to mention.
A lot of games.
I've already got friends who want to go on a road trip across the US.
I definitely want to get The Crew.
All this online multiplayer stuff where things slip in and out of multiplayer seamlessly is where we're all going with games lately, I think. So nearly every single game shown has the same seamless multiplayer included now.
Yeah, they're really like anti-menus. Like they don't want you to be scrolling through menus and stuff just to get to where you want, or lobbies even and stuff like that. What I really don't like is I don't like that they're using tablet. I like tablet integration. That makes sense. To make it more fleshed out. But I don't think it fleshes out that much, and I don't think it's needed. Like I don't want to have tablet integration and phone integration with my games. I don't know. That's just me. But I don't want it to be a really important aspect of it, because I know Microsoft were like pushing like the tablets and stuff.
Yeah, everyone had a Surface.
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like gamers don't want to have to like pick up a tablet while they're playing their console.
I can see it being a nice novelty. So I mean,
it's used very well in Watch Dogs. Like you can have a friend like block all exits while you're like running away from the police, and I think that's really cool. It looks so epic, but you're not going to pause your game, ring your friend, be like, "Hey, pick up your tablet. The police are chasing me." Put your phone down, play the game, and like have things happen. Like it's too much to unless like the tablet. I don't know, makes a noise to say, hey, your friend's being chased by the police. You better, like, help hack things.
I think the way that they see it is they're going to have this companion app be fun to play itself. So the idea is people will be able to connect via the internet to anyone's random game and just meddle with other people playing this console game.
Yeah.
And the idea is you have two different experiences that cater to two different markets within the same universe.
Yeah, it's obvious they're touting it as it's not essential, you don't need this, but you can jump in and do this if you want, which I think is a really good sort of way to look at it. They're expanding without...
Yeah, so it's taking the Wii U's idea but doing it properly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to The Order. Like, I didn't see... Obviously, there was no gameplay from it, but the trailer looked really cool, and it's got, like, some steampunk stuff in there.
I love that team as well, because Ready at Dawn are obviously the guys who did the PSP God of War games, which were absolutely amazing. Like, and they're some of my favourite PSP games, I guess. So when I saw that it was that team, I knew whatever they were going to show was going to be awesome. But seeing London as well is a nice treat.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
England get involved again.
I really don't want to get too excited about stuff that we haven't seen. Like, I am excited for this, but I don't want to because it's just CGI at the moment. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
At this stage.
It could be like I could picture it being something like Diablo looking, like just top down. Like I don't want it to be that, and I'm sure it might not be, but I could just imagine it being that, and me going, I don't want to play it anymore because it's like
Well, I think if you want to get hyped for a game that we've actually seen running, then you've got the new Killzone.
Well, I've never played a Killzone, so I don't know. I don't know why. If it does it look good compared to the others, I don't know.
It basically
very good.
It looks like Killzone mixed with Crysis.
Yeah, they were saying that actually. I heard someone say
fantastic.
That, yeah.
I mean, I'm biased in that I absolutely love Killzone. Like, I love Killzone 2 and 3. I think they're brilliant, and I am so hyped for the new one. Like, it's my most hyped for game at the moment on the PS4.
Is it like okay? Is the online like Call of Duty like? Is it like quick to match make? And
no, it's a lot more focused on like teamwork, and everyone has a clear role to play.
Is it like
more in the
Battlefield
vein of
Online?
Battlefield?
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Now I'm more interested.
So we also got to see a few more exclusives. I mean,
one of the biggest reveals that made me and Andy freak out was when Square Enix came out and they were like, "So Versus 13 is 15 now, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is happening."
They were big. We've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for years.
I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan, so I'm not too bothered about that, but the mention of Final Fantasy 15 did make me think, okay, I might trust you again one last time.
I think I've lost Final Fantasy. I don't really feel it, because ever since, I think the change from like 9, 10, it kind of lost it for me from that big jump, I think. But Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm on it like a car bonnet. God damn that game.
I think 15, the whole success now is just dependent on the writing. Because obviously, like, Square Enix have sort of they've moved their gameplay on from the traditional sort of ATB turn-based RPG mechanic. But the main, like, 13's main downfall, I wouldn't have said was the gameplay, but it was that the characters were awful.
Well, Lightning was a boring character.
Yeah, there were no...
I didn't care about.
Like, the PlayStation 1 and before Final Fantasy games, they had characters, like, with these rich backstories that you really wanted to get to know.
My main problem with 13 was the lack of exploration.
Yeah, definitely as well. I mean,
It
it was
only
very
opened
linear.
up right at the end, didn't it?
Mm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
gave up before I got to that point. We had a whole debate going on about it on the Facebook page. People saying that they became disinterested around 13, and I think that's a big cut-off point for a lot of people.
I think it's funny because 13's the first one I actually went out and bought for Final Fantasy, and I was like, oh, so this is what everyone likes. I was like, I'm sure the rest are different, because I've seen like play from Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 6, and I know it's totally different. Like, Final Fantasy 13 is very linear. You can only go straight.
I remember it's Square Enix in that it looks amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it
does
still
look
looks
amazing.
amazing.
It does.
And, I mean, I think people were saying on the page, they clearly need to just start making movies. That's what they want to do. And I'd agree with that coming from 13. But like Andy's saying, their earlier stuff has shown they can write fantastic characters. They can make these incredible worlds that we all care about.
Back in the Squaresoft days.
Yeah, it's just they've lost their way, and I think, like I said last week, I don't think too highly of many Japanese games at the moment, and I think it's just they lost their way this generation more than anything, because it's been such a transitional one. Whereas I think the PS4 and the Xbox One, as much as there's new stuff coming, we now know where the industry stands and we know what we're doing. It's not just... The PS3 was a more powerful PS2, basically, at the beginning, whereas the PS4 clearly knows what it's doing going forwards. And I think that's going to be great for the Japanese industry to find its feet again.
Yeah.
The other thing we finally saw was gameplay for Destiny.
Yeah, I was about to mention that myself. Yeah, that looks really fun.
It looks fantastic.
It looks definitely like it was made by Bungie. Like, you can tell, it looks so Halo.
Well, it looks like...
in its own, like, right, like, it looks good. Like, it doesn't...
It was giving me very big vibes for Marathon, and it's just why I like Bungie.
Yeah,
They're fantastic at making these worlds, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like,
what I
coherent
really
universes.
what I like again is like the seamless multiplayer. Like, if someone joins your game, they fly in like via like a small
just
space
drop
drop,
down.
and just drop
Yeah.
down, and it's just so quick. It's so cool. And someone can just like drop in, drop out.
It basically looks
It's good to have little touches like that to make it more than just, they just phase into the world.
Yeah,
Like, you
it's
just
actually
turn around and pop, they appear.
it's actually
It's nice to have some theming to your online connectivity, especially when you're going to make it seamless.
It feels a lot more immersive.
yeah, it's actually bigger than that though, because the fact that you don't have to like the game doesn't load, the game doesn't stop, the game doesn't like back you out again. Like in Halo, if someone wants to join your game, you have to quit the whole
During that
mission.
demo, we saw a variety of environments, and there was quite a lot of traveling, and no single appearance of a loading screen whatsoever. Just the occasional corridor,
I
but
think
not
that's gonna
like
be
the
a
obvious
theme.
loading corridors. Just corridors that look completely normal, full of detail and expression and design.
I do think that's going to be a theme for the next gen, basically, is there's no more loading.
But to be
That's not
fair,
a
that
thing.
was like an E3 demo. That's supposed to be like almost the perfect first impression of the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is loading screens or the cutscenes are the loading screens or stuff like that. As long as it's integrated well. And it
I'm
doesn't...
fairly sure most games are just going to have loading into the game, and then from then on, you're going to be in the
getting it
game
from the
immersed,
console.
and then the only screens you'll see is if you pause.
Well, with The Last of Us, there's an initial load, and it takes a minute or two maybe, but then that's the only loading you'll ever see throughout the entire single-player campaign.
That's what,
Well, yeah,
that's what we
going
want.
on to The Last of Us, let's not forget that the PlayStation 3 isn't quite dead yet. You know, they've got a title that's kind of appealing to me right now, The Puppeteer.
Oh, the
That's coming
Puppeteer
out?
it looks brilliant.
I have
It
no
looks
idea what
so
it is.
quirky and different and unique,
Exactly.
and that's really
It's
what I want.
absolutely beautiful.
I also like the look of Rain.
Yeah, Rain looks like Emotion, the video game.
Is it similar to Heavy Rain looking?
No,
Oh.
it's very
It's an indie title, isn't it,
indie,
Rain?
pretentious.
Oh,
and,
okay.
very. I mean, it looks awesome. Don't really know anything about it, but it looks interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like what
Speaking of indie titles, they also announced a lot of independent developers.
Oh, they did.
That was Sony's first deliberate stab at Microsoft, basically,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Because Microsoft came
Yeah.
out and went, well, we
First
love
of many.
indie devs. Here's Minecraft. It's like, from this little known team, Mojang. And then Sony were like, here's some real indie.
Sony got Octodad too. They
Here's
are ready.
Octodad.
Octodad 2 is what I would buy.
I am
PS4
buying a
for.
PS4 for Octodad.
Weren't you playing Octodad before your exams, Andy?
Shut up. Yeah, a little bit.
Octodad's also going to go on PC, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It was announced for PC first. They just made the
It's a timed exclusive,
for the E3 demo in the last month.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that the big
it's
console
good, yeah, it's
companies
good for
now
stuff
are
on
incorporating more indie games into their setup.
Well,
So I don't know if any of you have seen the Xbox arcade indie sort of area, but
That is just where games go to die.
Yeah,
really
it's
is.
shambles. Yeah, it's not good over there.
I looked at the games on
Pretty
demand.
much everyone I have ever worked with who has ever gone near it has just never wanted to go anywhere back.
I went on to the Xbox Live Marketplace last night on the on-demand section, and I think it was I forgot what it was. I think it was either Halo 3 or something quite old that was like £20. I was like, really? Like
but don't forget, Halo 3 is going to be free if you've got gold now.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
It was Tomb Raider Underworld for £20,
Wow.
and I was like, really?
I think, going back to that Games for Gold thing that you've just mentioned, that's a step in the right direction for Microsoft now, but
too small of a
we're
step.
seeing 7-year-old games now that they're saying, oh, you can have this for free if you pay for gold. And then you look at PlayStation Plus, and we're getting not brand new, but fairly recent titles.
Well, no, but Drive Club is available for anyone who's got Plus at the launch of the PS4. A brand new first-party game is for free if you have Plus. Which, I mean, I know Sony have been very sneaky with it because you now need Plus for online, but Plus also
Only
gives you
on the
free
PS4,
games and
though.
discounts.
That was a
only
big point of
PS4,
confusion
yeah.
for the internet. It
And
seemed.
all of the free-to-play games, you can play them
Yeah, there's
without
no wall
needing
there.
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So
they've
Planet
got some
Side
killer
2,
apps. They've got some great multiplayer titles, and you don't need to pay extra to play even those.
They're doing it
But
right.
they will get people in.
Well, and I think people have put it best when they've said, I mean, remember when the PSN went down for a month last year? And it's like, well, that's what happens when you have a free service. Like, if we're paying for it, they can make it a more premium service.
Okay, so one thing that we missed from Microsoft's conference and from the Sony one is a big point, and the prices were revealed for both of them. Xbox One is going to be selling initially at £429, and the PlayStation 4 will be selling at £349. So it's a pretty sizable difference.
But
Yeah.
it's about 80 quid difference.
I think that was enough to just say, okay,
I'm getting the PS4.
I'm getting the PS4.
Yeah, that's the way
that
I go.
was enough for people to say, I think that this is going to be more worth my money. And then they really stuck the nail in the coffin when they just took the mic and made that video, that instructional video. After that, and the grin on the guy's face the whole time was amazing. You were just like, wow.
The biggest shit.
I love the little
Yeah.
chuckles. He just couldn't contain himself with the excitement of having to announce all that.
Well,
Yeah.
that was almost my favourite part about the PS4 conference was, so obviously Microsoft and Sony always make digs at each other, but they're somewhat subtle about it.
Definitely.
This was the first time I've ever seen one of the companies just go straight for the other one and just straight up say, of course we're not going to do that. And the fact that people were applauding and chanting, it summed up why people are going to back Sony this generation. I'm really holding out hope that this is the gen where Sony gets back on top.
Some of the stuff though was a bit odd because they were like, oh, we're not gonna have DRM on any on our console. It's like, yeah, you won't have DRM on your console, but publishers can choose to have DRM.
But
and I think a
not
lot
on
of
a
people,
system level.
for a lot of people, that went right over their head and they were like, yeah, this is going to be the best thing ever. And it's like, well, hold on a minute.
Well, and the thing
if
is
it sounds
that
too good to be true. It's probably because it is.
I don't particularly buy used games, to be honest. I bought a couple used games when I first got my 360, but obviously on Steam that's non-existent. And it's not the fact that I would be buying them; it's what it means and it's what it says about the companies.
Yeah.
In that, if I buy a game, a physical game at that, I own it. That's my property to do with as I wish. The same as if I buy a car or if I buy a CD. That's my property.
Yeah.
Obviously we've looked at the press conferences with Sony and Microsoft, but let's not forget our good old friend Nintendo Direct. I think it was really good that they did a Direct and not a press conference. They had some good titles, but I don't think enough for a whole press conference.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I'm wondering, I know two of you guys have 3DSs. I'm wondering, what do you think about those new 3DS titles that are coming their way?
What is coming out on the 3DS?
Zelda.
Oh yeah,
and
the
Link
new
Between Worlds. I think I keep getting it wrong, but it's a remake.
It's a Link to the Past remake, or is it a sequel?
No, it's
it is a sequel.
Remake.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of remake / sequel because the overworld is exactly the same. but the dungeons are going to be different, as far as I know, from what's been released. So
I'm definitely going to get that then.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited, but then I still remember the overworld from like Link to the Past already. So it's kind of not going to be as exciting, but kind of exciting and nostalgic at the same time, I guess.
I think it'll be nice to see it a bit more like fully realised in like 3D.
Jazzed up and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've heard that the gameplay isn't like the other DS Zelda games, like with the stylus, which is kind of good because
That's a very good news because those were terrible.
I liked them, but I prefer the buttons because it's just easier.
That was my whole opinion on those 3 games. It was just, this is really good. Just please let me use the buttons.
Yeah, it seemed like they were using the touchscreen just because they had a touchscreen. And it would be cool to like slash your sword, but in the end, it's just a bit tiresome.
I also like the fact that Smash Bros is finally going to be portable. I get to beat the crap out of people with the villager on the bus.
It is.
What do you mean it's going to be portable?
It's
because
on
it's
3DS.
3DS. Yeah, that's so interesting. Like, I'd love to be, if I had like, if it's got good like, I don't know if there's like, you can hook up to internet while you're outside without Wi-Fi. I don't know if you can. Like, you know how you can just connect your phone to the internet.
You can't. There's no 3G.
If you use your phone,
because that would be so amazing. It might be a bit laggy, but it'd be so amazing to play Super Smash Brothers anywhere, anytime when you wanted to. That'd be amazing. I love Smash Brothers, and I love like Mario Kart, and just all the typical franchises from Nintendo. Like, I really like that, and I really like that they came out with new versions.
I hate to be the negative one again, but I honestly just walked away so bored from the Nintendo Direct, and I've got a 3DS, and I'm looking for an excuse to get a Wii U, but it's not going to be more of the same. So we've got Donkey Kong, which is a port of a Wii game. We've got a remake of a 10-year-old Zelda game. We've got a new 3D Mario that's basically a stretched-up 3DS game that won't take advantage of the 3D gimmick. We've got yet another Mario Kart.
Yeah, which is awesome.
People like Mario Kart.
I love Mario Kart.
We've got yet another Smash Brothers.
Which is amazing, because everyone loves Smash Brothers.
But also, it's the first time Smash Brothers is coming to 3DS.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you say
it's going to be awkward and weird on 3DS.
Well, they've said they're not going to use touch controls.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's like, I don't know if you guys ever played... I know it's obviously not the same game, and I can't remember what it was called. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Oh, yeah.
That had a Vita version. Those kind of big fighting games don't make sense on a portable.
But did you play PlayStation All-Stars on a PS Vita?
Yeah, I played it on a Vita and a PS3.
And what was it like?
They're the kind of games that are designed for sofa co-op. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So Smash Brothers, obviously, if we were all sitting around playing it, it would be a lot, obviously. But it's not going to incentivize me to buy their hardware for that game. If it was on PS4 or Xbox One... Sure, but I'm not going to buy their hardware just for that game.
Playing on a PS Vita versus playing on a controller, is it just harder? Harder on the.
Well, it's kind. I mean, the Vita's got great physical control, but what I mean is, it's more the kind of game it is. Really, it's kind of because like Smash Brothers is about having the big screen everyone can see.
Yeah.
And I don't see how playing that on a 3DS will be the same. I am looking forward to Sonic, though. You know, the new one that basically looks like Mario Galaxy.
Lost World.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
That looks pretty cool. The last Sonic game I played, though, was on, I think it was the Wii, and it was the one with the boss was called like Alfuela Walela or something like that. I don't even remember. I was like something like Sonic and the Secret Rings. I forgot what it's called. I'm so bad.
Sonic and the Secret Rings is the best multiplayer party game. It's so glitchy.
Oh, I totally
really?
forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the last Sonic game I played.
I like the look of the Wonderful 101. That is one of the games that makes me want a Wii U so bad.
It looks so good, and the fact you can get so many different weapon add-ons, and the way you can come together with all these little heroes to make a bigger one.
It just reminds me of Clover so much, back when they made Beautiful Joe.
Oh my goodness, yes, I never thought of that comparison.
Most of it's the same team.
Is it? Oh, that's cool.
I heard they had like trouble explaining how to play the Wonderful 101 because it's so like weird but wonderful. Like, well, I didn't mean to say wonderful, but you know, like how do you describe you're this guy, but you're also a bunch of people who can make different objects to fight other people. Like it's weird. Like you're just an object.
It looks great though. I'm happy they're bringing new IPs to Nintendo.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I mean, that'll be the last one, but yeah.
And the other thing really, really, really drawing me to get a Wii U is I want Bayonetta 2.
Yes, definitely. The fact that that's a Wii U exclusive is going to be a system.
What do you think about
annoying.
Chris? What do you think about the way they've changed her hair? Are you gonna? Because is it going to be
doesn't
like?
look as good
Is,
now, does it?
are people going to flip out like how when they changed Dante? What's the game?
Oh,
franchise?
Dante for Devil May
DMC.
Cry.
That's it. Devil May
Yeah.
Cry.
An
Yeah.
extreme
They
image
made him
change
different
is
colour.
what happened to Dante.
Yeah.
So not Bayonetta.
No,
Bayonetta's
she
okay.
basically just had a haircut, hasn't she, for Bayonetta 2?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it looks alright.
Oh,
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Girls do change their hair, guys.
Okay, so
Yeah, if she's been out of fighting for a while, she might have had a haircut, you know.
it's true. It's got to get in the way.
Maybe.
And it won't get in the way. She can now see what she's doing properly.
Exactly.
But it
She
still
might even
turns
be
into
better
giant
at fighting.
monsters.
wait,
Oh, no,
her
she
hair
fights
turns
with
into
her
giant
hair.
monsters.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Bayonetta.
I've never played Bayonetta. I only
she's
know.
a witch and her hair turns into, like, giant fists and stuff.
I didn't know that. I just thought that she shot things out of her shoes, and she was like,
I knew her hair was something. I just thought that was her costume. I didn't realise it was a fist as well.
No,
Yeah, she has demon hair.
Her costume is her hair. All of her magic comes from using her hair.
Yeah, that's why she goes naked when she uses her magic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's why.
Suddenly the
Ah,
Wii U
Japan.
has sold.
There's something we glossed over in your little mini rant, Alex, was the new Donkey Kong, which isn't a port, but it's a new Donkey Kong game entirely.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
port
it's a-
on 3DS,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's actually a whole new Donkey Kong because they've actually brought Dixie into it as well.
Oh my god, you're right. That's blown my mind.
Alex.
No, for the sake of
It's-
accuracy.
Yeah. Oh no, because now I remember. Because during the direct they went, "Oh yeah, look, you can see that his fur moves now. Next gen."
Yeah,
Yes.
that's next gen and not
It's got Vikings
for
in it.
Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo.
It's not all first-party releases. I mean, they've also got Assassin's Creed 4 is going to be coming to the Wii U, and Batman Arkham Origins.
That's right. They have also got games that will be better on other consoles.
Have we mentioned Pokemon yet?
We have not
Oh
mentioned
my
No,
God,
Pokemon is its own like half-hour segment.
Yeah.
I think
Pokemon looks so
I think
good.
Pokemon is a good point because they did start off on that.
Yeah, just
Right.
to sum up though, fairy types.
No, don't agree with it. It's a bit weird. They say that some people are speculating that the evolutions of Pikachu might be fairy type, or even Pikachu himself.
Yeah, I heard I heard that poison type is going to be super effective against fairy type.
Yeah, but fairy type's going to be super effective against dragon because apparently dragon
This
needed
is such a
another
great
one.
conversation.
Oh,
Is it
Dragon
just
can
me,
fuck
or
up
does
a
it
fairy.
seem like fairy type is just renamed normal type?
And also there are like
Yeah.
Pokemon that are like.
I thought it was weird that Clefairy wasn't a fairy to begin with because it kind of like sums up the miscellaneous Pokemon. Like they don't fit into anything else, so we just call them normal.
There are Pokemon that have two different types, and one of them but they are technically fairies. So we're not gonna. I mean, we're not going to see 3 type Pokemons because that would just be OP. It'd be really weird. But I like that. I like that it's going to change the metagame like completely. I think
I
that's
think
really cool.
Gardevoir is going to be fairy, which is just going to be boss. I don't know. It's
Like
going to be scary.
Black and White for me were really big disappointments. So X and Y I'm hoping is going to be the point where I kind of really jump back on board with the franchise.
What does everyone think of the new 3D like aspect?
I think it's about
Pokemon?
time.
Be cool, but it could also be really rubbish. If they do it properly, it'd be really cool.
Does anyone think that it like looks sort of like Pokemon Stadium, like the way like when you have a little battle, it's like it does that 3D
Yeah.
intro? That looks so cool.
Looks like
That's
the show.
what I've been wanting for a long time. This is going to be the first time I might actually buy a recent Pokemon game.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Yeah.
I just ignored everything from Gold and Silver onwards, and then I got Soul Silver and Heart Gold, and then I just keep going in stages when they do a significant upgrade.
I don't know. Ruby was really good. Ruby was really good. I like that. But yeah,
And
remakes.
last thing about Nintendo that I really liked was the announcement of a new Xeno game. I think that'll be a
Definitely.
system seller as well.
I think that was a big reveal. I was hyped over that.
Can someone tell me more about that then?
What is this?
It's from the people who made Xenogears.
Oh, okay. Oh, the new Xeno game, Xeno.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so we've got 2 conferences. That,
EA
they're not
and
as
Ubisoft.
huge as the big 3, but we should probably sort of skim over EA and Ubisoft.
I was really happy with the EA's one, to be honest. I'm totally going to just jump ahead now right to the ending, but hey, new Mirror's Edge. Right?
That's pretty much all we came for anyway.
Me and
We're
Andy
looking at
both
EA.
literally screamed when they announced that.
That was a big
it was
reveal.
so hype.
Chris, what do you think about Mirror's Edge, the new one?
I am really excited for that. I liked the first Mirror's Edge a lot, and I have spent the last couple of years going, where's Mirror's Edge 2? Where's Mirror's Edge 2? And they finally answered.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really care about all the sports games. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't care about the new sports games.
And I really don't care about the new Plants vs. Zombies game.
Why not? Why not?
I know people have been saying, oh, look, it's awesome and stuff, but I just don't care.
Oh, I love it. And don't forget Peggle.
Yeah.
Peggle fucking 2. Yes! Personal highlight of E3.
That GIF
You
that
were
everyone
so
made,
excited
oh
about it.
dear.
Why shouldn't we be excited?
You know, if they actually called it Peggle fucking 2, I might be...
Oh, they so should.
If I was on the marketing team.
Oh man.
Oh, god damn, I'm so hyped for that. One of the real showstopper moments for me was when EA just came out and were like, just so you know, we're making a new Battlefront. We're not going to tell you anything about it, really, but it's happening. It's DICE, it's Frostbite, it's basically all of your dreams are coming true. We can't be
it's
the
not
worst
DICE.
company in America. Love us again. EA!
It's not DICE, though. I mean, DICE LA is just a studio that they've renamed, like the way EA keep doing lately. They just go, oh, if we call it the same name as one of the other really good studios that people buy stuff from, they'll just think it's from them.
Yeah, what was the company that got changed, that had a name change?
Victory Games became DICE LA, I think.
Yeah, I don't like when they do that as well. It just confuses people a lot.
It's like when Square became Square Enix. Hate that shit.
I like the look of Ubisoft's racing The Crew, the open world racing game all over America.
We've already talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we did
didn't
that in
hear
Sony.
Oh,
Screw you guys. You blacked out that, obviously.
Oh, and Ubisoft bringing back that fucking woman with
Aisha
Girlwood.
Tyler.
Oh.
Girlwood, guys. Girlwood.
Oh, hashtag Girlwood, YOLO. God, it
The
was
whole
the worst
conference
thing.
just felt painfully awkward to me.
Serious Girlwood for Just Dance, guys. Just saying.
I think it's cool that, like, going back to EA's conference, like Battlefield 4, that you can like bring down whole buildings. I think that's pretty
Very
cool.
big scale match.
Yeah.
Like the fact that whole demo was an online match. is
Yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool.
Will you be able to get 64 players on the consoles as well, though, or is that just for PC?
think they
like
already-
Battlefield 3 was just PC.
I think they already did like a demo at E3, Heather, like of Battlefield 4 64 players, or Battlefield 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that was it was Battlefield 4 64 players
Wow,
at the
that's
E3,
cool.
but was that PC only?
Oh,
I don't think we know at this
We
stage.
don't
We
know.
don't know
Careful
yet,
not to
and
say.
it's fairly rumoured at the moment that they actually were showing Battlefield 4 on a PC
At
at
the
conference.
Microsoft conference, yeah.
Well, we don't know. That could have just been like a dev kit.
placeholder, I
Like
guess.
yeah, like it didn't have. It could have been anything. I mean, it did say press X to reload and stuff, and you know you don't press X on a keyboard to reload anything unless you just keybind it there because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You do when you have a gamepad plugged in.
It's true.
Yeah, that's
very
the only
true.
thing I could think is that they're just switched on gamepad mode.
The personal highlight of E3 was, apart from the Peggle 2 GIFs, it was Pokemon, I've got to say. I already knew about Pokemon, everyone already knew about Pokemon, but I love Pokemon, so what about you, Alex?
It was probably the response afterwards with everyone siding with Sony, because for years the standard gamer has been 360, and you know has been shitting on the PS3 and saying, "Oh, the online's behind," or "the exclusives aren't as good." But it feels like the general mood has swung the opposite way, and I couldn't be happy about that.
Yeah, I think my favorite bit was when I realized I didn't have any money for anything. That was my favorite bit.
Yeah, that was a good bit. Yeah.
And then I
Look at all
pretended
these gorgeous things.
I pretended I had money, and then that made me feel a lot better about it.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. I was playing the PlayStation 7 in my own mind. It was great.
My personal highlight of the show was seeing more of Dark Souls 2, and I'm really excited for how that's going to turn out.
I'm actually excited to see people play that and just see how Dark Souls vets like think
People's lives just fall apart.
just
over
like
that.
how it's changed or how it hasn't changed.
Well,
even
it's done by
Yeah.
a new director, number 2, but they've got the old director sort of watching over.
his every move.
They're changing up a lot to make it a lot more difficult, so it's going to be very fun to have to relearn everything again and die and die and die and die and eventually complete it.
Yeah,
I hope.
Heather, what about you?
My highlights? I think it might have to be, I know we don't know that much apart from the CGI trailer, but the Sony's The Order 1886.
Yeah, that looks pretty
Steampunk
good.
Victorian killing. What are they killing? Is it aliens? Is it werewolves? I've heard so many people tell me different things, like what could they be killing? And I think
That's
that,
really
to
interesting.
me, is getting me quite excited.
Isn't that
Girlwood,
exclusive,
guys.
right?
I got Girlwood for The
Yeah,
Order.
it's an exclusive.
Please, never again. Personal highlight for me, I think we all know what's coming here.
Peggle 2.
Peggle 2. I've never played a Peggle game.
You never played
I
Peggle?
probably never will, but that announcement was the absolute best thing to happen in the whole industry
The
ever.
music that played after it was amazing. It was so... Peggle's
So
great.
that was highlight of my year.
See, I missed the Peggle 2 announcement because I was
Oh,
busy
it's
playing
no
Magic
point.
the Gathering with my friends, but I'm going to look up the Peggle 2 announcement now just because
I'm sure you've seen the
about it.
GIF. The GIF is everywhere.
Yeah, look at the Peggle 2
Legit.
announcement if anyone hasn't. Or anyone listening hasn't seen Peggle 2, definitely check it out.
I was just going to say, let's talk about like the feedback and thank you to our fans so far.
Oh.
They're the reason we keep going.
Well, the
Talk
Facebook
about what they've
page...
said and stuff.
The Facebook page has absolutely blown up. It's ridiculous. We're on, I think it's 121 likes.
121.
But the amount of people that are actually seeing the things we're posting or the stories and the spread we're getting, I think we were on 3,004 views last week, which is more than I ever expected, I'll be honest.
We've been seeing some great discussion
Yeah, we've
within the
actually had
comments
people
of
feeding back on it.
posts
Yeah.
we've placed, and it's really great to see people getting involved, and it just gives us a lot more to talk about and more incentive to do this each week. So yeah, thanks guys for anyone who's got involved on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube or SoundCloud. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah. It means a lot to hear back from people because obviously if we're just shouting into the nether, then there's not really much reason to do it.
But yeah, just knowing you guys are like listening to us and appreciating us and actually lasting till the end of this podcast is pretty rewarding, guys. Thanks.
Achievement.
Trophy unlocked. I don't know what they say on PlayStation.